Welcome back, brave souls, to Sinister Snapshots, where nightmares come to life and darkness lurks. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown, where horror lurks in every corner and frightful tales unravel their secrets. Join us as we take you on a dark ride through Insidious Chapter 3. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to get alerted as soon as new content is available. That is, if you're brave enough. Chapter 3 takes place before the Lambert story. It begins as a young girl named Quinn Brenner arrives at Elise's house. Quinn asks Elise to help her make contact with her dead mother, Lily. Elise refuses, saying she stopped that for a while ago. Quinn offers to pay, and after a while, Elise decides to help her without pay. Inside, Quinn gets emotional while telling Elise about her mother. Elise calls out to Lily's spirit. However, she gets terrified when she hears another soul. Quinn hears a sound behind her, but doesn't see anything when she checks. Elise then tells Quinn to find someone else to help her and warns her not to contact her mother by herself anymore, because all of the dead can hear when someone calls out to one of them. That night, Quinn heard a voice in her room's ventilation. She moves closer to investigate, but she is startled by a loud sound. The next day, Quinn auditions for a theater school. While rehearsing her lines, she sees a figure in the dark waving at her. When it's her turn, she forgets her lines. That night, Quinn complains to her friend Maggie about messing up her audition as she hoped to leave her house. As Maggie goes to get her car, Quinn sees the figure waving at her again, and she is suddenly hit by a car. At the hospital, Quinn flatlines and she sees herself in a dark and empty room. She looks around as she hears voices when a man wearing a mask startles her, and she jolts back to life. In the hospital, Quinn tells her father, Sean, what she remembers. After 3 weeks, Quinn returns home in a wheelchair with both legs broken. An elderly neighbor named Grace tells Quinn that she heard a man's voice calling Quinn's name in the vent last night. Sean takes her to her room and gives her a basket of books so she won't get bored, along with snacks and a bell to call for attention. That night, she hears a sound in the ceiling and then her bell rings. A dark figure approaches her from behind but disappears as Sean opens her door after hearing the bell. Meanwhile, Elise is trying to fall asleep when suddenly something wakes her. She picks up a book and she writes Quinn's name on a blank page. In Quinn's room, Quinn taps on the wall and someone taps back from the other side. Believing it to be her neighbor Hector, she texts him, but he tells her that he is at his grandmother's. Scared, she taps the wall again, but there is no response. As she sleeps, a hand grabs her and she screams. When Sean comes in to check, he sees a crack in the ceiling. Sean makes a complaint with the building manager, and when he checks the apartment above, he learns that it's been empty for a while. They see muddy footprints, but they find no one. In Elise's home, she stands outside her locked basement door, but she decides against opening it. Then, she calls out to Lily and tells her that Quinn needs help. She hears a whisper and then sees muddy footprints leading to the basement, which is now open with the key that was around her neck. She tells the entity to reveal itself, and it attacks her. She escapes and shuts the door. Quinn and Maggie are video chatting when Maggie asks if someone is beside Quinn, but no one is. Maggie's video suddenly freezes, and Quinn sees the shadowy figure behind her curtain. It approaches her and then vanishes into the ground. As she looks over her bed, she is thrown off the bed. She sees the dirty foot from under the bed as it shuts her door and window. Sean returns home and hears her scream. She tells him that she was attacked by a demon. Later, Sean learns that Grace, the elderly neighbor, had died in her sleep. He tries to comfort Grace's husband, Harry. That night, Quinn, who is lying on the couch, sees the ceiling splitting, and she covers her face with her blanket. She wakes up in the hallway, and when she tries to return to her apartment, she is wheeled away from the elevator by a soulless entity. She screams, but it moves her faster into the empty room and throws her to the floor. As a faceless woman crawls towards her, she bangs the floor while screaming for Sean. He goes to help his daughter. He sees the muddy footprint and traces them to a broken window where he sees someone had jumped from it. When Quinn tries to look out, The demon grabs her and pulls her out, but Sean grabs her legs and pulls her back in. The next day, Sean goes to Elise for help. Elise insists that she can't do it, but Sean says he won't stop trying to help his daughter. Elise then tells him that she lost her husband a year ago, and she tried to make contact with her dead husband, but ever since then, she has been followed by an evil entity. And every time she uses her ability, she hears it screaming that it will kill her. This is why she stopped rendering her services. However, Sean insists that she just needs to see and talk to Quinn. Elise goes to see Quinn and she sees the crack on Quinn's ceiling. Sean, Quinn, and Elise begin a ritual to call on the entity that's haunting Quinn. Elise opens her eyes. She is astral projecting. She sees a red room and enters it. The elevator takes her to a dark room where she hears the screams of spirits in agony. She enters another door where she is attacked and choked by a ghost. Elise returns to the living world terrified and says she can't help Quinn anymore because the woman who wants to kill her is waiting. Sean contacts paranormal investigators, Tucker and Specs, on the internet. And when they visit Sean's house, they attach a camera and microphone to Quinn. Elise meets her friend Carl at a restaurant. Elise points out the woman that's haunting her to a friend Carl in a photograph from Josh's investigation in 1986. Carl, who is also a psychic, tells her not to be scared and that she is in fact stronger than the spirits. At Sean's house, the light goes out and they see through the camera that Quinn is walking around. They trace the camera to the closet and through the monitor, they see Quinn standing behind them. She attacks them and breaks the cast from her legs by kicking the bed. As she walks, her legs wobble and her bones crack. She tries to cut her throat, but Sean stops her. When Quinn screams, they see an eye in her throat. Alex runs in and hands them a rope to tie Quinn down. Tucker and Specs admit that they are in over their heads. This enrages Sean. Elise suddenly appears to help. She informs him that the entity is powerful and has lived in the building for a long time. She also says that it is feeding off Quinn's life force and has half of Quinn's soul, but it wants it all now. Elise returns to the Further, where she meets a distraught spirit. Elise instructs her to lead her to the evil entity, and the spirit informs her that she is the entity's pet. She takes Elise to the empty room above Quinn's, and Elise sets her free. She heads further towards an open door, and the doorknob is covered in mud. She goes in and sees a man sitting on a bed when the spirit haunting Elise, the bride in black, attacks her and chokes her, but Elise fights her off. She goes to confront the male spirit, which ends up being her husband, Jack. He tells her to join him in the spirit world, but Elise recognizes that he is an evil entity and slashes him. The man who can't breathe reveals himself with Quinn crawling by his side. Elise pushes him and grabs Quinn and they try to escape. Elise's body shakes in the real world as she runs with Quinn in the Further. The man who can't breathe throws her, but Elise fights back and returns to her body. As Quinn gets close to her body, the man gets a hold of her again. Everyone gets a hold of Quinn's hand and they try to call her back. Then, Elise says she can hear Grace. Grace tells her about a book and Elise finds Quinn's diary. The diary contains a letter from Lily and Elise calls Lily to help. In the Further, Lily whispers to Quinn and we see Lily holding Quinn's hand with the others in the real world. Quinn finds the strength to fight the man who can't breathe, and she gets back to her body. Lily stands by the doorway, watching with a smile to see her daughter back. Elise tells Quinn that her mother was there during her audition, and she will always be there for her family. The next morning, Elise offers Tucker and Specs the opportunity to work with her. At Elise's house, her dog suddenly starts growling in the dark, and the lipstick-faced demon appears behind her. We hope you enjoyed this cinematic journey through the Further. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming adventures into the darkness.